Okay, hello, you guys. It is Ebony. It is I. Yo, I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in such a long time. Dang, I actually look a little bit darker. I've been tanning. I've been outside. Me and my egg. I really love when my hair is pulled back like this. It's not even like super flattering. I don't know. There's just something about it where I feel like I look like a squirrel, and I really like it. But yeah, I feel like it's been forever since I've been on here, but it's been about a week or so since I last recorded. Today I woke up and the girls were fighting. And it's more so like the girls, as in four different people, don't like Ira Starr, and I'm like, okay, her album is coming out, like I said, on my birthday, Leo gang. But I just want to look into her album, and then I want to talk about some of these quote unquote beefs, or just some of the energy that we see with the other girls in Afrobeats. But yeah, we can get straight into it. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. I don't remember very clearly exactly what I had said for her the first time. I will say right now, it kind of seems like Ira kind of has a gag on her mouth. I also wonder if she worries that she's losing momentum. I wonder if I favorited that. I just saw somebody say in a tweet that like Maven's like their record. They were talking about Rema, and they were talking about they're ruining his momentum. And people always say this about Ira. Like, if you know anything about Ira Star stands, they're always on Twitter like, her label doesn't do shit. I feel like for example, she kind of was very smart in announcing her album as soon as the whole situation blew up back in May. But she really like she hasn't dropped anything since then. I'm trying to think. Tyler at least did Is It Love? She remained pretty quiet, but she still was kind of on the ground. Like she was kind of outside. Ira's album is less than 2 weeks away, and like it's not a lot going on. I feel like she might feel like she's been held back. There's a part of me that even feels like I said, it feels like there's been a gag placed on her. So I wonder if she might even feel like, I don't know, she feels like situations outside of her are preventing her from saying things or promoting herself. I just remembered she actually didn't she not just have surgery for something? So I don't know if this is something like that. I wonder if she feels like, oh, me hurting myself. I don't know, did she hurt her leg or something? I don't remember what she said that it was for. I don't know that she even described it. I just know that she did have a major surgery that seemed physical, because I was like, yes, like mind you, for her to have just gotten the surgery, because she had got it at the end of July, but she had been like quiet since then. And when did tornado come out? The tornado come out after this whole situation? That's not good because I don't really remember. Like, yeah, it might have a lot to do with her injury. The reason why I say that is because I know Flo postponed their album like 2 weeks because of Georgia's vocal injury. I just feel like she might worry that this has ruined momentum for the album because people have kind of like quote unquote forgotten about it, or recovery is just the biggest thing. Like, I just wonder if she feels like she might push it back, or she feels like she needs to. I just feel like this album, it might not perform well. I know that I talked about having maybe a low Billboard entry, and I thought that it would do wonders for her career. Like I remember bits and pieces of it, right? So maybe I'm misspeaking. I don't remember in depth. Like I did remember the Tyler one a little bit better. I will feel I like it feels like she might feel like there's a lot of missed opportunity, and she might feel like she knows exactly why certain things didn't go the right way. It may even be that she might have to work this era a little bit. You know how like Brad released, and then it took 2 or so months before it really kind of grew legs and did what it did. It wasn't an immediate hit. It definitely took just a little bit of time. So it might be over time, like over the next couple of months. This does, like for example, it comes out August, right? But it might be that like end of the year, like December or so into 2027, where we see this kind of album really taking like spreading its wings, because the earliest single from this project is I don't think Hot Body is on. I don't know if Hot Body is going to be on this album, but let's say Who's That Girl came out like late September, early October of 2025. So at this point, it's been damn near a year that the era has kind of begun. So I feel like she might feel like, okay, I can extend this, or I can work with this over time, but I do not think it's going to be an immediate hit. Even like I said, the Billboard entry that I thought that she might have, I don't know if this is on the Billboard Hot 200 or this is on the Hot 100, but I definitely thought it would be like 70 or so. Like, it probably, I didn't think it would be any higher than 60, but it might be a thing that rises over time. The thing is, I think this might be a little bit underrated or underappreciated. Like, this might even to some extent be under promoted, and that might be what it is, because I feel like they might be pressuring her to create, but at the same time, I don't know if they're going to do what they're supposed to do with it. I wonder if Mavens is preparing another girl, or there's another act that they're putting a lot of money into, because I feel like they see her as like the top woman that they have for sure, but there's a part of me that feels like they pass over her when someone else wants to come out. I know like Rema started teasing stuff, which is a whole conversation in itself. Rema started teasing stuff, so I don't know if it's even that. In a lot of ways, I feel like she's still trying to prove herself to her label that she's worth the budget, that she's worth all the promotion. Because we also have to take into account, like for example, Hot Body and Who's That Girl, they definitely had a lot more buzz, but like Tornado and Where Do We Go, Loki didn't make any noise. Like no one was really gagging for them because she's released twice this year, and it reminds me a lot of Chloe Bailey's roll out for her second album, where people were like, they didn't put any promotion into this, and they put out Boy Bye and Fuck Your Status. Like they did promote it, y'all just didn't like the fucking songs. That's the thing about it. Like you almost would not think that she has an album coming out, not because she hasn't been putting out music, but because it really hasn't been super impactful. So that might even be a thing where people are looking at her like, for example, she's definitely had a couple failures, but they still keep giving her the budget, right? Because Tyla has crazy visibility. People know who she is even if they don't really like her. With Ayra, I feel like the visibility isn't like, she doesn't get half the visibility that Tyla has. And there's a part of me that feels like if this doesn't perform the way it's supposed to, like the way that Tyla still, they keep giving her ass chances even if she fucks them up. I don't think that Ayra has half of the leniency, especially where she's at. Like I feel like it's a kind of like a do or die thing. I also feel like maybe they'll put money behind things that end up being successful. Like you know how, for example, Body Do by Chloe Bailey ended up getting popular by the time that they had already put all their money into those features and into all those like videos. And so Parkwood was just like, well, good luck, bitch. But they didn't, they were not coming up out their pockets for Body Do, even though that was clearly the most successful single because it came after everything else and she had already pushed everything else. I feel like Mavens will push. I feel like they will push it, but the fans would like, it would organically have to be taken off because, like I said, Tornado, like no shade, as someone who loves Ayra Starr, didn't go anywhere. It didn't go anywhere. Like I honestly didn't think it was a bad song, but it was kind of underwhelming. It came out around the same time as Is It Love, which I also thought was very underwhelming. Like it's just like like the production on it is amazing, but it's just like the lyrics, not a lot going on. Like both of them are both like nothing burgers, right? But like we're just gonna have to see what the album has to offer. Yeah, but I do think that she's kind of isolated and she's in a place where she kind of has to prove herself because they're just not just going to keep on giving her money. I do think that something could go well eventually, but I do think in the beginning it's not going to do well. I think over time it will age. It will definitely age well. Like I think it will age very, very well. I just do think that this might kind of be a chop, like kind of immediately. Like it's not gonna get a lot of fanfare. This might not be a lot of people knowing or a lot of people supporting, or they feel like I said, they feel like they did all the promotion that they could do. I don't know if these next 2 weeks are going to be a little bit more interesting or she's going to be outside a lot. She's going to do a lot of exciting things, and at that point all they can do is just hope that people buy it. But yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna go through the 4 people who they were discussing. The post about it was so funny, but I want to go through the 4 people that they were discussing, which are a lot of the other younger girls. Like this is like 2000s gang in the, well, Bloody Civilian. I don't think so. I think she's a little bit old, but we'll see. The thing is, I don't think that Ayra and Tyla necessarily have like beef, but I don't think that Tyla, especially Tyla, I don't think they think very positively about each other at all. I thought I included this clip in the last video I did on them after the whole Megala situation, but like they were just cool with each other, at the end of last year, like December, January or so. You saw there are clips of them literally partying together. One thing I will say is that like, because at the end of the day, like that situation with Megala had nothing specifically to do with Ayra, but the fact that Ayra kind of used that to kind of launch herself after people were talking about, like they kind of ran with this idea that Tyla had always been a weirdo to Ayra. Um, and so Ayra used that to kind of boost herself. I think that at that point, Tyla, like I said, it's not a real beef. Like I don't think they're necessarily exchanging words, but I do think the thoughts about each other are quite negative. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyla kind of has outbursts or she throws more obvious shade. Yeah, I just feel like that situation kind of sealed it for Tyler. Like, we're not cool. We're not, even if there's not necessarily any beef, I don't fuck with you. Like, I think that situation made it very clear. I do not fuck with you. And I do think that any chance that Tyler has to shade this girl back, I think she'll take it, whether it's in front of the public, whether it's behind the scenes. I think that Tyler can honestly be surprised sometimes by her anger or her outburst. Or I don't know if it's a shocking moment where she's just saying something that people can obviously take as shade. I don't think she likes her. I think, like I said, I think in her mind it's like, okay, well, it was messy, but I don't think that she expected Ayra to use that moment specifically. But obviously, Rihanna stokes the flame, and Ayra kind of stands on it. And you like in both kind of cases, you can't blame them. Like I said in that situation, Tyler, there's nothing that she could say to Rihanna that would go over well for her. She just kind of had to eat it, and you can't blame Ayra for kind of using that moment to capitalize it. But I do think. And it was smart. Like I don't think it was a bad idea. I just think that Tyler is very upset because she knows she has the endorsement, right? I don't think Tyler will be super mad if her album is successful. I also think that Tyler doesn't feel like she can necessarily stop this. So, like I said, over time, she just might feel like, well, I don't know. She feels like you deserved it. That kind of. I think that she kind of will give Ira her tens over time. I just think that any chance that she has to kind of laugh or poke fun at her at this point in time, she will take it until she kind of can't. Until she kind of has to give her props. Yeah, she might feel like it's kind of one sided, or she has to kind of let it go. Because, like I said, that situation really didn't have anything directly to do with Ira. Rihanna was being funny, and then Ira just kind of capitalize off of it. But it is quite shady. It was quite shady, right? Yeah, it's just right now I don't think she has anything positive to say, and will pick at her anytime. And like I said, I do think that Tyler feels like I'm not necessarily that person who's quite aggressive or does things like that, but like my feelings are quite hurt because you allowed that. Like at a time that was already low for me, you played into the narrative as well as if I'm this person, and maybe she is, maybe she's not, but regardless, you didn't make it better for my image. So like you better be successful, because if you are anything short of amazing, we are gonna laugh at you. Like, because when it was me, you did the same. It's just fair. Is it Queen Muddy? Like I don't understand this name. I don't know. It's funny because people say that the reason why people brought her up is because apparently at one point in time she was like, there's no female Afrobeats artists that support me, but apparently Ira had very publicly giving her support up to that, so people thought that was kind of weird or shady. It's funny because I don't feel like she really has beef with her. Like I actually feel like she likes her. This might be her admiring her. Like I don't know if she has ever spoken about in some ways being inspired by this person. If anything, I think that she can be a little bit spiteful of the fact that she likes Ira, or she can't really find a lot of fault in her. I think she definitely sees her as the star or the top of the conversation, especially in Nigeria or in West Africa. I do think that she wishes, like, for example, when she said that, she might not have meant it like no one has done shit for me. It might be, for example, let's say that she wanted to Ira to do a feature, but Ira was like, I'm not gonna do that shit for free. Like I feel like she kind of I feel like if she had the chance to work with her, she would jump at it. So I wonder if she was mad about how she wanted support to look. And Ira was like, I mean, I love your music, but I'm not necessarily going to hop on a feature for free. Like, I do, it's a business, right? So if you don't have the, mind you, I know that she was having label issues or whatever, so it might be hard for her. No, she actually just put out an EP. Actually, you know what's really funny about the EP? I was like, damn, she has a lot of features on here. I said, damn, do y'all, like, you know these people personally? Like, God, it was kind of stacked, right? For somebody who I didn't, like, I was like, who is this girl, right? Yeah, I just like there's a part of me that wonders if Ira turned down an opportunity to work with her, or there was some blockage in it and she took this personally, and so she did that kind of lash out. I do think that she kind of tries to forgive it, or like I said, she would overlook it should Ira change her mind and be like, okay, well, I'll do it. Um, I just feel like she might feel like she kind of fucked it up with it being weird, even if she didn't mean it. Because, like I said, I do feel like she will change her mind should she be given the opportunity. I really don't think that she dislikes Ira, like genuinely. I think that she actually looks up to her in a lot of ways, and so whatever happened might have been disappointed. Like she might have over exaggerated it, like, oh, don't meet your heroes, right? But I don't think it's a situation in which Iowa was really wrong for what she did. Like, I don't think she was like, fuck you, bitch, I'm never doing no song with you. I do think it was a thing of like, you have to go through certain hoops, you know, certain avenues to be able to kind of get with me. Or maybe, like I said, at the time, she just didn't want to do it. It wasn't a convenient time for her, but it does not feel like a total dismissal. I just think that she might have internalized that in a way that it's kind of one-sided. But like I said, she would change her mind. Like she would jump at the chance. If anything, I think that it might have even been that her ego was hurt, and so you ever met somebody, it's like when a man gets rejected, like it becomes this whole like violent, like aggressive thing because they can't take it, but she knows that it wasn't necessarily energy. She knows it wasn't energy like that, but it might have even been a thing of like, because my rejection sensitivity is so high, I kind of wanted to be that so I don't look crazy doing this by myself. And I feel like she understands that she looks a little bit crazy, and so that's what I'm saying, she might try to move past it quite quickly or act like it didn't happen, or like I said, she would jump at the chance to fix it. But I do think she has a lot of regret about how she handled it, especially when it didn't become a beef, so she could just kind of hide what she did within. Oh well, she's jumping back at me, so I can move any kind of way. You just look weird by yourself, and she's a little bit embarrassed about that. Okay, so with Bloody Civilian, I'm like, if there's anybody who genuinely dislikes her, it might be this person. Like, it might be Bloody. It's really funny because they actually look a lot alike. Like, I looked at her and I was like, damn, this is probably just a default Yoruba face. Like Bloody Civilian generally looks like she could be Iris Starr's older sibling. I don't think that, you know what it is. I think that Bloody Civilian is very similar to Maddie. Like I have no idea how to say her name. I feel like it might have started on her end, or I'll just say this, it might be a one-sided thing. Maybe she feels like Ira was weird to her first, but it might have been a thing of where maybe she didn't give grace, and so like I said, now she ended up on an island by herself. Whether for example, in Maddie's situation, she could have been the aggressor. In this situation with Ira, Bloody might feel like Ira was kind of the aggressor, but she wasn't able to overlook it. The thing about it is, I feel like it's something. Oh my god, I was just saying this earlier today. Some things are mistakes. Some things are just character flaws, right? I don't think that whatever Ira did was a character flaw. I think it might have been offensive or hurtful, but I do think it's something that you can move past. For example, there's a part of me that feels like I wonder if she just misspoke, or she said the wrong thing. The best way I can describe this is like getting misgendered by a friend, right? Where it's like, you have every right, if you get misgendered, to feel a certain kind of way about that, but like you have to understand that like not everybody means it maliciously, and for like for some people you can move past it, obviously, especially if they're not really a transphobe, they just had like a lapse in judgment, but it's really up to you. Like I don't feel like it was it was unfounded for her to be upset. But I do think that it was something that they should have been able to move past with like a 15-minute conversation. I think a lot of why Bloody might have moved the way that she did is because she had it in her mind that she was going to be super, hypothetically, allegedly, I just feel like she thought that she would end up the more successful one, or like you are gonna miss me, or you are gonna need me, and then it didn't happen that way. And that's why I'm like, she feels like in the moment when she was like fuck you bitch, it felt good, or it felt justified, or she felt like I was gonna get the upper hand, and then it didn't go that way. Mind you, I love Bloody Civilian. I'm obsessed with the song Space Fuji right now. So this is not me talking down on her. I just feel like, I don't know, she has a tendency, like she's a little bit avoidant, or she has a tendency to like discard people. But I do think that she went about the situation like, you are going to need me. You are going to miss me. And that's not what happened. Like, I don't think that Ayra had a lot of situations about it. It might even be that she wants Ayra back in her life, very similar to Madi, like I said. Or like, I wish there wasn't energy or beef. Like, I like you. I like your music. We could work together. Like, we would probably be better together than apart. In a lot of ways, she might feel like I missed opportunity with someone who, like I said, ended up being super successful. I don't know. She might see Ayra as more successful than her in a way that doesn't necessarily get to her ego about her success, but maybe about how she treated her, as if maybe at the time she might have felt like she had more going on for herself, because apparently she's been in the industry for a really long time. I definitely heard her name for a couple years before I actually started listening to her, but I don't really understand the entire backstory there. I'm not crazy into like Nigeria's music scene. Yeah, she just feels like Ira's very prosperous, and she doesn't really have to slow down for her, and she thought that was going to be what it was, and then Ayra kind of broke, or like, I'm thinking about Rush, so it might have been the success of something specifically where Bloody was like, yeah, I'm definitely not on her level, especially at some point in time she thought they were kind of level, or she was doing better than Ayra, and then all of a sudden something happened and she feels like she blew, like you hear Nigerians use that phrase sometimes. I feel like she feels like Ayra really did something that was kind of like unprecedented, specifically in Nigeria, and so she understood I kind of lost the battle, even though I was talking shit. There's a lot of regret that she might have a pride. She might have pride or ego about her. She might kind of be shady or do things even though she knows that she's wrong about it. I don't think she has a hard time. I think she has a hard time accepting it, even if she kind of intrinsically knows. I think she just kind of goes about her business because she knows that she was wrong about it. But I do think that she wishes that, or she would take the opportunity to be friends or mend it. I just don't think that Ira's going to extend it, especially because, like I said, she might have been the one to walk away from Ira and be like, I don't fuck with you. I don't know the situation. I'm going to try to look into it. But yeah, she feels like it was a bad opportunity, and she kind of has no leg to stand on, or she's trying to fix certain things while Ira is actually just getting bigger and bigger. Like, it's funny because the Princess of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles came out. That's actually what I got for Ira earlier. So I'm like, she also sees the growth, and she's like, ooh, especially if this is growth or success, like that blowing. She's gonna blow in this era, so she's like, wow, I really missed out on that train being funny. It's one of those things where she feels like the quote unquote trash kind of took itself out. Like, I took myself out of her life, and it like, I don't know. Sometimes I've never been in that situation, but sometimes you just gotta accept that, like, sometimes people are better off without you. And she's kind of realizing that, like, this person had a lot of good things happen for her once I was out the way. She could definitely watch her. I don't want to say obsessively, but she could definitely watch her. She might watch her, listen to her music. You might be surprised to find how much she likes her, how much she supports her behind the scenes. Like, seriously, And so she might not even feel good about that. Like I said, I really like you. I really like your music. Like, I don't have those negative feelings that I did at the time. It might have been a thing where she even feels like like I said, my pride was too big, or I let it fester for too long when I could have fixed it. But it is what it is. Yeah, I do think she has some regrets about it. I don't think she'll ever say this. I think she's always gonna present a strong face and try to go about it and find her own path, or her own way. But there might be some regrets there. Yeah, she really does feel like Ira kind of came into her own. And meanwhile, she's struggling or going through a lot, thinking like, and she literally might have been like, "Oh, you're gonna see," and it's like, who saw? Yeah, I do think that she might even feel like Ira and her are now in a completely different place, right? It's like, I'm thinking about BTS, and like, we're all Inkigayo winners, like the success is to a degree where it's not to say that some of those more domestic groups aren't successful, but it's like you're not BTS in the same, like, it's completely different. And this could happen very, like I said, once it happens, it can happen very quickly. But she could already feel this discrepancy. It could just be another level coming. Okay, so in the case of Molly, I'm not gonna lie, this reminds me of Nicki Minaj, where she's like, Pink Friday in stores.
Award goes to
Pink Friday is in stores tomorrow. Give it up for Pink Friday, you guys!
yeah.
I really don't think that Molly did it to be funny. I think that she saw an opportunity to promote herself, because her project also literally just came out on Friday. So I think that she saw it as like, let me take it. The thing about it is as someone who loves Molly and honestly love that project, I do think it lacked couth. I think it lacked class. And I do think that at the end of the day, even if she didn't mean it like that, people were right to take it as being weird, because it was so tasteless. Like, you already know that fans are gonna stoke up beef regardless, and so you played into that, like, oh my god, let me benefit myself, and it did, like, It wasn't worth it. The thing is, I don't feel like Molly actually very strongly dislikes Ira or she has an issue with her. But I feel like after this situation, it's like any semblance of us being cool, I think is gone. Like, even if they fix it, I feel like they could be very surface level. I don't think they will ever really be friends. And not that they all have to be friends regardless, but I do think she made it extremely weird. And so it probably never go past surface level. Like, didn't, they were talking about how Ira apparently was like showing love to Molly and she said that she wanted to work with her and stuff like that. So it was just really weird that she even, like, it wasn't the fact that she promoted herself, it's the fact that she said it in a way that even if it was quote unquote to promote her, it would stoke fan wars. And it's like, you should have at least been like, I don't really believe this. I love Ira. I love the genre. Stream my EP. All she says in the midst of them being shady about it is stream my stuff. So it really just sounds like, okay, it sounds like I'm agreeing with everything that you say. So on top of that, support me. Like she didn't disagree, like vehemently disagree at something that makes her seem complicit. And it just wasn't smart. Like you should have at least differentiated if you didn't feel very strongly about it. I don't think that she necessarily felt very strongly negative or strongly positive about her, but I do feel like she understands now why that was a stupid choice, and she might, and to a certain extent, she might feel like she has to stand on it now because it was weird. Like at the end of the day, as someone who likes her, as someone who likes her music, it was weird. It was not the time for you to be promoting yourself without at least being expressly clear, like without being explicitly clear, like, hey, I do not support this, I do not agree with this, but you can support my project that also has the song in question that we're talking about. Like, I don't think she disliked her, but at this point now it's energy. Now it's weird. She might have liked Ira. The one thing I will say is that I don't think she was ever a crazy big fan of Ira the way that Ira was a fan of her. If people were saying things like, oh, it was always one-sided, Molly never showed love in the comments the way that Ira would show love in the comments, like she thinks that she's cool, she acknowledges her success, but I don't think that Molly was necessarily a fan or she was gagging really bad. She might acknowledge Ira's success. Like, she is definitely one of the biggest acts out of Nigeria, especially the bigger like pop act. She's the only one, right? Or she's at the top of her game. Like Thames, at the end of the day, is probably the biggest female Nigerian artist. And just Afrobeat artists in general, like in terms of numbers, like Thames has really crossed over, right? But Ira, in terms of like being a pop girl, because Thames is very, very R&B. Ira is definitely the most successful girl, at least out of West Africa. Um, I don't know. There's a part of me that really feels like Molly didn't feel very strongly about her, but I don't think that I really don't feel like like I said, I don't think she liked her enough to really dispel that. Like, I don't think that she was being super funny, but she really wanted to make it clear, I don't fuck with you like that. Like, she definitely knew what it was doing. She definitely knew what people would say. I don't think that she did it to be crazy malicious, but she was not afraid of people knowing, like, we're not cool like that. It might even be a thing where it might have been like a one-sided kind of like like I said, I just don't like you like that, and so she's glad that it's known right now because she hasn't really moved. She's still in the tweets replying like, hey, listen to my EP. Like, I think Molly also can be a little bit self-centered or a little bit selfish, and so she really doesn't care. Like, to me, it doesn't feel like she cares. It might be like later on the back end where she kind of has to deal with quote unquote consequences of this, like I said, not being able to go certain places, not being able to work with certain people, especially if this does bring a certain level of fame or attention to Ira. At that point, she might feel regret, but I don't think that I don't think she gives a fuck. I really don't think that. I truly do not think that she gives a fuck because in her mind, she was just like, promo, free promotion. Like, yeah. Like, I promise you, she saw it as a golden ticket. And that might also have been why she didn't clarify it because even if she didn't feel strongly negative, she knew that being ambiguous would allow people to kind of, like I said, stoke the flame even more. She knew the clout that she could get from that situation, even if she didn't hate Ira. But like I said, all of a sudden now she has to stand on it. And she's like, what? She's like, what the fuck? It's like she knew. Like, the thing about it is, especially with Libra energy, that passive aggressiveness, and so passive aggressiveness, and sometimes not having an answer is an answer. So she knew. She kind of like. I don't think she was. I really don't think she was trying to be funny, but she understands now. I said it or I did something that where the intention was very aggressive, even if what I said wasn't. So I had to stand on that. I feel like she might feel like she's being watched, or like I said, she's kind of accosted as an enemy now. I don't know if Molly Loki loves beef or this could be very inspiring for her. I don't know if she could feel like she doesn't necessarily need the Ira cosign, and that might be a now thing, whereas later on she might be like, ooh, I passed up an opportunity with someone who's doing really well, especially because Molly has a collaboration with Tyla, so people were also kind of feeling like a lot of those girls kind of support Tyla or they're, fans of Tyla, so people were assuming that maybe it's because of that. And I'm not gonna lie, it might have even been that Molly was just like, well, I'm associated with someone who is a little bit more successful than you, so I really don't have to worry if you like me or not. And then if Ira ends up having a situation where it's a lot different, she's like, oh, like, yeah. I really don't feel like Molly was coming as an enemy. I just don't think she was afraid to look like an enemy if it would benefit her, because she might have felt like I have certain things going for myself, or this is going to get me something. The relationships that I have already are going to get me something. So I don't care if you like me, even if I don't strongly dislike you, because you liking me doesn't really do anything for me until it does, and she can't get back in. But I'm gonna leave that here for now. It's funny, I really thought that I was gonna at least see somebody who was just like, girl, I don't care like that. People were confused, and it kind of seems like it really is shady central. Like, why do the girls hate Ira? I think a lot of it has to do with her success, though. Them seeing her as, like I said, especially in West, like a lot of these girls, all these girls are West African. Is not, it has nothing to do with Tyla at that point. Yeah, it's like I think that a lot of them might have a lot of jealousy towards her, or just see her as super successful, and they can't really be on her level, or they aspire to what she has had. And I think that she's overly going to raise her standard. Like, it might also be right now they feel like she's a little bit vulnerable or weak. Like I said, she doesn't really have much going for herself, so they don't think that she's necessarily a formidable quote unquote enemy, until she is, until things change very quickly. But yeah, I'm going to leave this here, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Award goes to
Pink Friday is in stores tomorrow. Give it up for Pink Friday, you guys!
Yeah.